Hey there, Nest Cam Wired. You're looking good. A nicely designed piece of tech, Google's Nest cameras are appealing, but with monthly fees for a lot of what you may want to do, is this going to be the right security solution for you or a monthly drain on the old wallet?
In this review, I'm going to try the camera out for a couple of weeks. I'll show you the video quality and what you can do with the camera as well as what you can't. I'll talk about how it integrates into a wider Google smart home, and then I'll wrap things up by going over both the pros and the cons and letting you know if I think I can recommend this camera for you. I would like to say thank you to ADT for sponsoring this video. While ADT did give me the camera to use as part of a 2-week trial of its security system, neither Google nor ADT has had any input into this review, so you can consider these thoughts all my own.
Nest Cam Indoor is Nest's only cloud-connected camera with a fixed base, since at the moment Nest designed its other security cameras with a wall-mountable detachable magnetic base. Part of the Nest family, the Indoor Cam has HD resolution video and a clean and minimalist design that matches other Nest products like the Nest Cam battery or Nest Video Doorbell. To dig a bit deeper on what you're getting, let's get it unboxed. Inside the Nest Cam packaging, you get the unit itself, which is very small, measuring only about 2.5 inches tall and 4 inches if you count the base. This camera is designed to be unobtrusive. It has a permanently attached 10-foot or 3-meter cable with a USB-A connector at the end, and that base, by the way, is not removable. A plug adapter is included. Underneath the base of the cam are 2 mounting holes, allowing you to attach it to the ceiling using the included hardware or sit it on any surface. At first blush, the camera feels heavier than it looks and seems quite durable and well made, unlike a lot of other cheap camera products out there right now. To make the camera work, you'll first need to set up or log into the Google Home app. Then you can choose the Add Device option in the bottom right corner and follow the prompts. Once you've added the camera to the Google Home app, you'll be able to view motion alerts or take a live look anytime. And of course, you'll be able to talk to or listen to whoever's in the room. If you want to keep the footage, you can download it right to your smartphone.
In a nutshell, that's it. But the camera does have a few cool features as well as one big caveat that we'll talk about coming up.
Google Nest Cam Wired Indoor has a wide 135-degree field of view, while the battery version's a bit narrower at 130 degrees. Video recording is 1080p or HD video at 30 frames per second with HDR and night vision support. It can also do a digital-only zoom up to 6 times, but only when you're using the Google Home app. So what is the video quality like? Well, you've been taking a look at it for yourself, both in my footage and from some of my on-camera segments. Right now, there are few consumer cameras that have ultra-high resolution 4K video, so I'd say the HD video quality you're getting with this is kind of table stakes. The quality is just fine for keeping tabs on family members or making sure the dog isn't on the sofa. Plus, there's the ability to zoom digitally to get a closer look. But for anyone expecting ultra high definition footage or the ability to read a text message across the room, that's not what you're getting with this camera. For the most part, the color accuracy is pretty good and the video picture is accurate. The camera would definitely allow you to look, for example, to see if you've left the stove on or the door unlocked or maybe your lunch bag on the counter.
Although Google launched the Nest Cam well before the AI boom, maybe the company was seeing the future, since the Indoor Cam does have a machine learning chip that can actually track and identify people, animals, and vehicles.
Then the app will sort those for you so you can find the motion you might be looking for, and the Google Home app lets you adjust notification alerts for each of those categories. Another really cool feature is that over time, the camera can learn familiar faces, so you can filter out alerts for people who should be appearing on your home camera and only get alerts when the camera doesn't recognize someone. Usually takes a few days for the camera to develop a list of faces, but after it does, you can go into the Google Home app and assign that person a name. It's pretty neat, and it might actually ask you to re-identify the same person a few times if they're wearing glasses or a hat, but pretty soon it'll get to know all of your familiar faces, so anytime the camera detects a familiar person, it'll either let you know who it's seen or that it's seeing a stranger. I found this feature is actually incredibly easy to configure, it works really well, and it's wildly handy for reducing alerts I don't need.
It's time to talk about the worst part of owning a camera like this, and that's that yes, to make the most of this camera system, you're gonna have to swallow monthly fees. Now, being a Google product, the Nest Cam entirely depends on Google's cloud services for operation, which is good for folks wanting an easy turnkey solution, but bad for the tinkerers. You won't find the option to record footage to a network storage device or a home server, for example. Without paying for a recording plan, all of your recorded data will stay on the cloud for just 3 hours.
If that's not long enough, you'll have to subscribe to the Nest Aware service starting at about $8 US per month, which will let you review clips up to 30 days old. Another step up the ladder, the Nest Aware Plus feature goes for about $15 a month.
I know the monthly fees burn a lot of people's behinds, but it is now standard operating procedure for most cameras and security systems these days.
Once your camera's set up, you really won't have much to worry about. This is one of the great advantages of a wired camera. You never have to worry about the batteries dying at an inopportune moment. I suppose the flip side, though, is keeping it plugged in may limit where you're able to place it, and while 3 meters might seem like a lot of cord, it might not be enough to get it up higher in a lot of homes. You can check in on your footage anytime or see what's going on at home, and of course, if you've opted for one of the storage plans, you can go back in time too. If you have bought into the Google Home ecosystem, the other thing you can do is take a look at your cameras anytime on a Google Smart Display like the Google Nest Hub Max. Just ask your Hub Max to call up the camera feed anytime.
One of the things I did find after a few days of use is that the camera does get quite warm to the touch. Not enough as far as I can tell to do any kind of damage, but this might be worth noting for some of you in case it affects where you want to place it. The other thing that became quite obvious in a couple instances is that there is no motion or remote movement available in this camera. Now, no points deducted for this because it's not part of the package, it's not something they offer, but just so that you know, if you wanted to pan around the room to get a bigger view, you can't do it.
Overall, the Nest Indoor Cam Wired really goes with the keep it simple mantra. It sets up in seconds and is quite literally plug and play.
Let's go over both the pros and the cons so you can see if this camera might be right for you.
On the pro side, the camera is quick and easy to set up, and its tiny size makes it unobtrusive anywhere. The wired design means you never have to worry about recharging, and you do have a few mounting options and a bit of adjustability once placed. I like the design a lot, and it's a chic-looking tech device like all of Google Nest's products. The Google Home app makes it easy to swipe through your footage and review or download anything you need to. With the familiar face identification, it makes it really simple to see who's around the house, and you can call your camera feed up on a Google display screen anytime.
So what are the potential downsides? On the whole, the camera has actually aged pretty well, given it was first launched back in 2011 and updated again in 2023.
So I think the biggest downside for people would be the monthly recording and storage fees. While you can get a few hours of free storage, in my opinion, that's like getting nothing at all, since potentially by the time you realize you need the footage, it's likely already wiped. The Nest Cam deserves some points for the slightly flexible base, but the small arm means the camera really can't be aimed accurately, and with no motor, there is no remote motion. There's also no record to micro SD card option. And I only found out after about a week that audio recording isn't enabled by default. You have to turn this on if you want audio along with your video inside the Google Home app.
In short, I think whether you're going to love this camera or not depends on whether you might already be deeply integrated into the Google ecosystem and potentially already paying for some of those monthly services. Now, if that's you, adding this small indoor wired camera to your arsenal makes a ton of sense. If you might be thinking instead of buying this as just a one-off purchase to monitor just a single area or for looking live at the house, it's probably less than ideal. On its own merits, and as someone who does run a Google Smart Home with a recording subscription, I like this camera a lot and I can definitely recommend it to you. Nest Cam Wired Indoor sells for about $99 US or $129 Canadian, and you can get one from Google or Amazon. And I have reviewed a lot of Google Smart Home devices, including the larger indoor-outdoor Nest Cam battery, as well as many of the Google Smart displays. You can check out some of those reviews right now.